Playoff positioning is at stake for our third game today, and we are still live from the Alonte Sports Arena. 18 and under action from the North Division is underway as we continue the live coverage of the country's premier youth basketball league, the one and only Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL. For our games today, first set of three between Quezon City 8-8 Junior Giants and the JT Bulacan Taipan, to be followed by the second set of three, the Biñan Tatak Vice Jail versus Las Piñas Isa Botanica Whitening Warriors, and then 21 and under action as well. Biñan going up against ICC Blue Hawks, so stay tuned for our games today. So good morning everybody, it's still Cho Pangilinan covering the action with Coach Noy Africa. Coach Noy, technically our second game of the day, how are you doing so far?
Well, so far it has been a good day, as of course Quezon City winning in the first game, and we're now in the third game, and it's going to be a battle between a team in the middle of the standings against one of the top teams in the division.
And indeed, that is our case for today. Itong Bulacan, 5th spot to be exact in our standings. Ito namang Bulacan, the top team in the North Division of our 18 and under. Pag-usapan muna natin, last game of Quezon City, unfortunately losing against the Antipolo GY Titans.
Losing a close one against Antipolo, 63-62. They allowed Antipolo to shoot 49% from the field, and usually that's a big problem when you allow your opponent to hit half of their shots. And of course, they were outscored in the paint 42-30. And despite that loss, still very good performance from Mark Cuevas, finishing with 20 points, 7 rebounds, an assist, 2 steals, and 1 block.
And hopefully, Quezon City can turn things around for this game. But ito namang kalaban nila, Bulacan JT Taipan winning against the Mandaluyong Junior Microsmith.
And in that game, they were down big in the first half. They were down by 16, but able to make it up in the second half. They shot very well from the field, 42%, and they really bombed away from the three-point area, converting 18 out of 46, and also able to get out in transition, scoring 10 fast break points against just 5 for Mandaluyong. And in that game, Mark Russell Santos, the other Russell, able to contribute for them, finishing with 25 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 assist.
Not your usual Russell carrying JT Bulacan Taipan into a win, but for this game, hopefully both Russells will do their jobs. But as of right now, let's waste no time further. Let's turn over now to our venue announcer, Mr. Denzel Santiago.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, Junior MPBL fans. Welcome to Alonte Sports Arena here in Biñan City, Laguna, as we bring you the continuation of Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL Season 2, ang Liga ng Bawat Batang Pilipino. The basketball action continues between the 18 under of Quezon City 8-8 Junior Giants and Bulacan JT Taipan. We are live on our official Facebook page and YouTube channel of Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL. And now it's time to meet the starters from your Quezon City 8-8 Junior Giants. Guard number 18, Ross Muyuela. Also guard number 12, Rafa Romero. Forward number 13, Hans Colio. Also forward number 35, Aldrin Rojas. Playing center number 30, Rafa Nas. And coach of Quezon City 8-8 Junior Giants, Mike Calomod, assisted by Kim Jinko. Team manager Gian Solo. Team owner Honorable Vice Mayor Gian Solo. Jaime Hizon, Randy Muyuela. And now it's time to meet the starters from your Bulacan JT Taipan. Guard number 14, Mark Russell Santos. Also guard number 30, Russell James Del Pozo. Forward number 25, Lord Zane Victoria. Forward number 13, Clark Arnold Plig. Playing center number 9, Zyron Gonzalez. Head coach of Bulacan, JV Taipan, John Paul Magbitang, assisted by Andy Roy Johnson, Gio Del Pozo. Team manager Charles Kimpo. Team owner, Honorable Joe Bensai.
Our do-ride bola ng Pinoy team starters for Bulacan. At the guards, we have Santos and Del Pozo. Both the Russells. For the forwards, Victoria and Anobling. Man at the middle, it's Gonzalez for Quezon City. Moyuela and Romero at the guards. Calio, Rojas for the forwards. And Nas at the center position. Once again, 18 and under action on your way. And a quick recap. Quezon City, 5th spot in the standings. Their last game of the season, this game, and hopefully they'll end it on a good note. Ito namang Bulacan, 2 more games down the road. The top team in the North Division as Russell Santos lights it up from deep.
Reversal of roles that time as it's Russell Del Pozo setting up Russell Santos for that 3.
That seems to be a sign of good things to come for Bulacan as they're able to play good defense. They have the basket right now. Good defense coming from Rojas. But Bulacan still has possession. Santos, another try from deep. He won't go back to back.
And right now you could see Quezon City trying to close out long on Russell Del Pozo and Russell Santos.
Meanwhile, Rans Moyuela sends it out. Romero resets the offense. Nas up top. Shot clock down to 7. Calio. Now it's Moyuela attacking. Moyuela looks to have gotten fouled by Bulacan.
You can see the scrambling defense here by Bulacan trying to stay in front of the Quezon City guards. And this should be quite the matchup. Rafa Romero and Russell Del Pozo. You're going to expect these two to outshoot each other.
Meanwhile, no good from Moyuela. Rojas, first 2 points of the game for Quezon City.
And very important, the other guys here for Quezon City, they need to have their A game as this is one of the top teams in the division, JT Bulacan Taipan.
Meanwhile, Del Pozo will miss that 3-pointer. The other Russell will fire from 3 and will make that one.
I think all the attempts so far for Bulacan have been from the 3-point arc. That's already 5 attempts for them, hitting 2.
On the other side, Rojas muscling his way inside for 2 more points.
Well, Quezon City trying to get their points inside.
And meanwhile, Bulacan continues to shoot from outside, but that'll be a miss from Anobling. Meanwhile, Russell Santos seems to have gotten the basketball, and a foul going to be called against Quezon City. Let's take another look on this Rojas muscle move inside. Right now it's 6-4. Make that a 2-point lead on the side of Bulacan. Del Pozo finds Victoria. Back to Del Pozo. Russell sends it to the other Russell. This time it's Santos. Inside to Charles Dane. Victoria out. But that is going to be intercepted by Moyuela. Rans Moyuela attacks. And that'll be a foul called on Russell Santos.
That's what I like about Russell Santos. He may be small, but he is really stocky, and you could see just that bump on Moyuela enough to get him out of position, but he will be called for a foul.
As we're seeing head coach Mike Colomot hopefully again leading Quezon City to a win in their last game of the season number 2 of our junior MPBL. Meanwhile, Rans Moyuela's first freebie is good. Second one on its way for Rans Moyuela as there's roughly 3 minutes gone by in our first period. And he will go 2 out of 2.
This is a very important game for Quezon City. A win here will put them in a good position come the playoffs and would give them a lot of confidence taking down one of the top teams in the division.
Meanwhile, Russell Del Pozo hands it off outside. Anobling from deep. He won't hit. And a rebound right here by Calio. Cross-court pass to Romero. No good on that fast break attempt. Here comes Russell Santos for Bulacan. He still has the leather. He attacks one-hander. Not that time. And here goes Rans Moyuela running. Finds Rojas. 2 points in transition for Quezon City.
Quezon City looking to go for the easy points early. Just pushing the ball in transition.
Meanwhile, Russell Santos will miss that 3 ball. so far make that a 2-point lead for QC. Romero from deep. He won't hit. And a rebound by the big guy, Gonzalez. Russell Del Pozo bringing it down, wasting no time, sends it out. Anobling another try. Still won't hit.
Trying to check if Bulacan has attempted a two-pointer. They've been just exclusively taking shots from the outside.
Talk about having the confidence and the green light to shoot it from way beyond the arc. And meanwhile, Gonzalez able to nab a steal. No defender in sight as he scores in transition 2 points.
He thought he was going to pull up from 3, but Gonzalez going for the sure 2 points there as you see Moyuela on the floor.
And Moyuela seems to be alright. Let's take another look on this fast break. No defender in sight. That sequence coming from Gonzalez of Bulacan, as he's able to tie the ball game up at 8.
I'm trying to make sure if it's actually a conscious effort by Bulacan. Probably an experiment, just taking all of their attempts from the 3-point area except for that one layup coming from Gonzalez.
So that was their first attempt, first 2-point attempt. Nonetheless, again, it's a deadlock at 8. Romero, one-hander, no good. Gonzalez grabs the board. Russell Santos, forward pass to Anobling. Anobling, another 3-point attempt. This time it connects for him.
So that's now 3 made threes here for JT Bulacan Taipan.
Meanwhile, Rojas will miss that breakaway attempt. Here comes Russell Santos, or rather Russell Del Pozo, and that is intercepted by Quezon City. However, it will go out of bounds. Possession going to stay with Quezon City.
And checking in now for Quezon City, Mark Cuevas, is see that transition pull-up 3 for Anobling, his first of the game.
Meanwhile, Moyuela in and out on that attempt. Russell Santos brings it down. Anobling asking for the basketball, but it's still with Russell Santos. Almost a steal, but Del Pozo gets a hold of it. Anobling another try from deep. We'll go back to back.
This is quite entertaining basketball being played here by Bulacan, just exclusively going to that 3.
Meanwhile, Rojas hustles his way inside.
Rojas continues to just attack the paint now with 8 points in the game.
Victoria now Anobling another try. Unable to make it 3 in a row. Nonetheless, it's a 4-point lead for the Bulacan GT Taipan. Cuevas. Now it's Moyuela against Santos. Cuevas looking to provide the pick. Moyuela now to Romero. From deep. Bullseye!
That's a specialty of the house for Rafa Romero. Earlier missed some gimmies inside. Now with his first points in the game.
Del Pozo against Romero. Del Pozo steps back for 3. In and out of that attempt. And here goes Cuevas. He attacks. Cuevas with the bump. Will go off the glass.
Mark Cuevas finished with 20 points in their previous game, that loss against Antipolo.
On the other side, Victoria will attack the paint. Will answer back with his own 2 points.
So it's not exclusively threes for them. That's a second 2-point attempt for them.
Meanwhile, Romero getting blocked by Gonzalez. But this time, it's still with them. And a rebound right here by Russell Santos. What a pass from the Russells. Russell connection that time from Santos to Del Pozo.
You can see that chemistry already has been built between the two Russells. I believe they played in the 16 and under division together just last season.
Meanwhile, that won't hit the mark for Quezon City. This time, another Russell connection perhaps. It is indeed.
So that's 2 assists from Russell Del Pozo to Russell Santos so far.
And the Russell connection continues to work for Bulacan. As Quezon City almost losing the leather, they continue to do so. And here comes Charles Dane Victoria. Sends it out. Anobling for 3. He may not be a Russell, but he can knock those shots down.
No need at all for Russell Del Pozo to score so far, as Anobling and Santos have taken the load here for Bulacan.
Another look on this quick fire three coming from Anobling to extend the lead to 9 only in this first quarter. 2 minutes remaining. Nature Spring timeout called.
It's gonna be a loaded lineup para dito sa Quezon City 8-8 Junior Giants, since 5 players will be presenting their skills and talent, or will be sharing it para nga dito sa Quezon City. All the way from Maykawayan, ito nga 5 players I'm talking about: Sagon, De La Cruz, Rojas, Yao, and even De La Cruz. Well, sabi nga sa akin ni Coach Mike, no, kung before nagkakaroon sila ng problema in terms of their big men, it will be resolved. At kita naman natin so far, ang ganda-agad ang pinapakita nito ni Alvin Rojas. That's all for now. Back to you, Cho and Coach Noy.
Thank you very much, Daphne, for that report. That is indeed very interesting. Kaya naman pala meron tayong new faces na nakikita dito sa 8-8 Junior Giants.
And you're seeing teams continuing to retool. Even we're at the tail end already of the eliminations.
Well, if it's allowed, why not, right?
Retool and reinforce their lineup at this stage.
More importantly, more opportunities for the kids, you know, even though nawala nga yung team na pinaglalaroan nila, they discovered a new home in Quezon City. Hopefully, yung ibang players din ng Maykawayan will find their new homes in our junior MPBL. For the meantime, Bulacan has possession, but that shot will go in and out. Meanwhile, Pulong Barit, first bucket of the game for him.
Well, we were talking about earlier before the game how he used to be a monster in the 16 and under division, and you can see the potential still there for Pulong Barit to be able to dominate in the 18 and under.
Meanwhile, Go will fire from 3, unable to hit that one. And Cuevas trying to muscle his way inside, but that's going to be a foul called on Bulacan.
And I like how you described it as muscling his way. He does have the height over the Bulacan front line on the court right now, but you can see already some developing his muscles is Cuevas for Quezon City.
Meanwhile, Madela no good on that shot. Rebound by Russell Del Pozo. He brings it down. He's up against Cordaño. Del Pozo will fire from deep, and he won't hit, but Pulong Barit inside. Pulong Barit unable to crash his way inside, but Fajardo still won't fall for him as Lacson able to reset the offense. Lacson will lose the leather. Gaitos, good defense. Benedict Gaitos will step on the brakes. We'll look at the clock. 15 seconds remaining. Go out to Gaitos once again. Looking at the clock, 10 seconds remaining. Gaitos sends it to the other side. Cordaño will lose the leather. Last 3 seconds. Del Pozo. And that will do it for our first quarter. It's 26-15. It's an 11-point lead on the side of the Bulacan JT Taipan. And we shall return for the start of our second period. Once again, this is the one and only Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL.
Ang pambansang kasaba.
It's 26 to 15, an 11-point gap in favor of the Bulacan JT Taipan as we approach our second period. And so far, it has been an electrifying quarter for Bulacan, knocking 6 3-pointers in only one quarter, Coach Noy.
Well, this is a team that likes to shoot from the outside. They're a volume shooting team. Remember in that game against Mandaluyong, they attempted 46 times from the three-point area, converting 18. And so far, 6 out of 17 for Bulacan.
However, it's still not too late on the side of Quezon City, but they will have to step on the gas. But that time, Cuevas seems to have turned the ball over to Bulacan. Right now, another chance for the JT Bulacan Taipan to increase the lead. Lacson against Gaitos. Pulong Barit looking to provide the screen. Lacson will not use that screen and will send it to Pangan. Pangan sends it outside. Laksamana from deep gets it to go from the corner.
You can see even when they go to their bench, even the guys coming up the bench like Laksamana able to hit it from the outside.
Bulacan still having smokes in their fingertips as make that 7 3-pointers so far in this ball game. Meanwhile, Gaitos seems to have been fouled by Pulong Barit. First team foul of Bulacan in this quarter. Let's take another look at this kick out corner 3-pointer by Laksamana. Meanwhile, Gaitos receiving the basketball, being pressured by Lacson. This time it's Cuevas. Thought about the 3 against Pulong Barit. Cuevas. Not that time, but he will shoot 2 freebies.
See Cuevas able to put the ball on the floor on the closeout, trying to finesse his way inside, but will get a trip to the line for 2.
And Cuevas finished their last outing against Antipolo with 20 points, 7 boards, 1 dime, 2 steals, and 1 rejection. And hopefully his efforts will be enough to carry Quezon City into their last game of the season. As first one is good for him.
So far, he has been one of the more consistent contributors for Quezon City, averaging 15 points and 8 rebounds per game.
Second freebie on its way for Mark Christian Cuevas. And he goes 2 out of 2. But still Bulacan managing a 12-point lead. So right now, 1 minute gone by in our second period. Lacson against Gaitos. Lacson still with him. He attacks. Unable to score. Still won't fall. Pulong Barit will clean up his teammates' mess.
See how very comfortable Pulong Barit is operating inside.
However, they're late to respond on that Mark Cuevas attempt. Meanwhile, Laksamana from deep. Too strong on that shot. Cordaño with a crossover. He attacks. Cordaño getting fouled on his way to the rim. So that's going to be 2 more freebies for Quezon City.
So Fajardo backpedaling and just attacked his defense, went into the body of Fajardo, able to fish the foul.
So it's still a 12-point lead for Bulacan, but Quezon City can cut the lead to just 10 with these free throws. But Cordaño will miss that first one. As we're seeing Coach Franco Atienza, of course, looking to assist Coach Mike Calomot, again in leading Quezon City to their last game of the season. Meanwhile, they still have possession after that miss. Gaitos will decide to take it from 3, but that'll be a miss. And here comes Lacson, manning the point guard duties, as that'll go for Mr. Lacson.
Earlier missed on a penetration was Lacson, but this time able to make the ball trickle in.
So it's now a 14-point lead on the side of Bulacan. Meanwhile, good ball movement on the side of QC, and Cuevas will score on that post move.
quick drop step to the baseline for Cuevas, enough for him to get disengaged from the defense.
Meanwhile, that's going to be an offensive foul called on Rich Jude Lacson. Or rather, that's going to be called on Fajardo.
Quezon City making some stops here, but offensively still quite struggling. They're still down by 12.
Under 7 minutes remaining in our first half. Cuevas hands it off to Cordaño. And that'll be too strong of a pass that was intended for Benedict Gaitos.
A good idea there for Cordaño on the drive and kick. It's just a little too much strength on that pass. Eric Cordaño, one of the energizer bunnies here for Quezon City, but sometimes a little bit too much energy.
Meanwhile, Lacson, good defense coming from Benedict Gaitos. Here comes De La Cruz, finding Cordaño, but they're unable to convert as it'll be 2 more freebies once again for Quezon City. And for the meantime, let's turn it over to Ms. Daphne Cristobal for a report.
Eliminating the bad habits is what head coach JP Magbitang wants Bulacan to always keep in mind. As a player himself before in CU Manila, he witnessed it all, yung mga good points and yung mga bad points. That's why he constantly reminds the team to always take care of the career that they have right now. And yung first loss nila na naranasan nila, they have to embrace that one for their competitiveness or yung desire nila na mas magpursige pa sa ensayo ay bumalik muli. Join Coach Noy.
Thank you very much, Daphne, for that report. And indeed, good mindset by Coach JP Magbitang as he instills upon his boys that, habits should only be good.
Yeah, that's right. And, whenever you have that big lead, that's when you start developing bad habits. So just reminding his players to just keep playing the right way.
Meanwhile, itong JT Bulacan Taipan, not yet done making it rain here in Biñan. So far, it's 36-21, 15-point lead for Bulacan. Quezon City in a tight situation right now. Gaitos attacking, will score on that give-and-go action.
At this stage, Bulacan, I think, is willing to trade 2s for 3s because they've really just made it rain so far here in Biñan. Already 8 made 3s for Bulacan.
Meanwhile, De La Vega will rise up for a 3. He won't connect. A big-time rebound by Cuevas. He brings it down. Mark Christian Cuevas, tough shot. Perhaps not, or rather a disoriented shot, but will shoot 2 free throws. Let's take another look on this give-and-go action. Completed by Benedict Gaitos of Quezon City.
I like how Cuevas able to initiate the offense off the rebound, able to go coast to coast.
First one is good for Mark Christian Cuevas. So far has 9 points and 5 boards. Second one on its way as we're entering the 5-minute mark of our second period. It goes 2 out of 2. Bulacan, no more fouls to give so far for the next 5 minutes.
It could be something that Quezon City can take advantage of as Mark Russell Santos will check back into the ball game.
Meanwhile, Quezon City, still no fouls committed in this quarter. Meanwhile, another good defensive stop. He's almost a stop as Laksamana fires one from deep and will miss. Pulong Barit power rebound. No good on that putback attempt. However, possession going to stay with Bulacan.
No dispensation for Bulacan to take those shots from the outside. This floor properly spaced for a guy like Pulong Barit to be able to live off those offensive rebounds.
Meanwhile, Russell Santos finds Laksamana. Sends it out. De La Vega going to be fouled by Cuevas. So possession still on the side of Bulacan, and that's going to be the first team foul of QC.
Also the first personal foul on Cuevas.
14 seconds to shoot for Bulacan. Canlapan trying to find his teammates, finds Simon Pulong Barit. Back to Canlapan. Canlapan has it. Asking for a pick from De La Vega. He fires a three of his own. That won't hit, but Pulong Barit on that putback, that is good.
Able to carve out space is Simon Pulong Barit. I didn't think he had an angle for that shot. Just powered his way through.
Meanwhile, attacking the lane is De La Cruz. But that's going to be another whistle. 2 freebies on the side of Quezon City.
Quezon City has made a living from that free throw line already, has attempted 10 times. As you see once again, that rebound from Pulong Barit, still able to get it back up and in.
And aside from the 3-point shooting, Bulacan has also been consistent in putting those putbacks. Of course, courtesy of Simon Pulong Barit. First free throw is good for De La Cruz. And once again, we're seeing head coach Mike Calomot of the Quezon City 8-8 Junior Giants. Second freebie on its way for De La Cruz. And he puts it in. 2 out of 2 for him. Able to cut the lead to 11 as Russell Santos brings it down. Santos has the leather. Still with him. He's looking to shoot. He does, but that is short. And rebound by De La Cruz. Here comes De La Cruz against Canlapan. They will step on the brakes. This time it's Cuevas. Call for a traveling violation.
Cuevas likes to attack facing the basket, but that time just moved his pivot foot before that ball hit the ground.
For the 8-27, 11-point gap. Bulacan still on top of this one. Meanwhile, Santos receiving it. And full court pressure being implemented by Quezon City. Meanwhile, a 3-point attempt. That's good. Coming from Charles Dane Victoria.
Well, that's one way to break the press, force Quezon City to stop pressing, especially since they're giving up some open corner threes here for Bulacan.
Atienza has the leather against Canlapan. And that's going to be a foul on the floor, but I think that'll be 2 freebies already.
Bulacan already in the penalty.
So as Atienza shall go to the free throw line for 2. Currently playing for the Team B of College of St. Benilde. As first one is off the mark for Atienza.
Well, this is the first appearance of Aza Atienza in this ball game. Very late here in the second quarter.
But of course, better late than never as he goes 0 out of 2. Scott, no good on that putback attempt. And possession staying with Quezon City. So right now, it's Aza Atienza bringing the ball out. Finds Scott. Scott attacks. Scott, that's good off the glass.
Good recognition there for Atienza, finding Scott inside for the deuce.
Charles Dane Victoria against Atienza. And that's a foul. Going to be called on Atienza. Only the second team foul of Quezon City in this quarter. So possession staying with Bulacan. 14 seconds to shoot for them. They're trying to get free. Laksamana, or rather that's De La Vega. Then it's Santos, now it's Victoria. Steps back, now it's Calachan from deep. Gets it to go once again.
Like how well JT Bulacan Taipan has been moving that basketball, getting some open looks from the 3-point area.
That's 10 3-pointers already for the side of the Bulacan JT Taipan.
That's 10 out of 24, still a very good percentage so far.
More importantly, a big-time lead being handled by Bulacan. As Cuevas going to the free throw line for 2 more freebies. And there's under a minute remaining in our first half. Again, so far, Cuevas carrying his team with 10 points. And add 6 boards to that stat line.
Quezon City has managed to still be in this game mainly due to their free throw shooting, although they've missed a lot already. 8 out of 15, while Bulacan has yet to attempt a single free throw.
Meanwhile, that's a turnover. The possession is back with Quezon City. However, that's going to be a Nature Spring timeout called as Coach Mike Calomot looking to recalibrate his strategies. So it's 44-29. A big time lead handled by Bulacan as there's just under a minute remaining in our first half. (44-29). Once again, a big-time lead being managed by the JT Bulacan Taipan. This time, it's Quezon City's chance to answer back. Hopefully, we'll end up in a good basket. Atienza to Cuevas. Cuevas finds Atienza. 9 seconds to work with. They fire from deep, and that still won't fall for them. They get it back, though. That's going to be another foul called on Bulacan. But that's another set of freebies. This time for Andre Minas.
Very smart play from Minas upon hearing the whistle. Went up for the shot, although Bulacan already in the penalty, so would have meant 2 free throws anyway for him.
First one is no good for him. Second one on its way. 39.6 seconds remaining in our first half. And we'll go 1 out of 2. So at this point, it's a 14-point lead for JT Bulacan Taipan. Victoria has it. 30 seconds remaining in our first half. Kalachan crosses over, sends it out. Canlapan tried to pass it inside, intercepted by Scott. This time, another loose ball, but ended up with Bulacan. No defender inside. De La Vega will convert. Last 7 seconds remaining. Atienza, is he aware of the time? Last 3 seconds. Minas from deep. And that'll do it for our first half. It's 46-30, a 16-point gap being managed by the JT Bulacan Taipan. Make that 10 3-pointers in 1 half for them. What an amazing feat. Once again, JT Bulacan Taipan on top of this one as we'll return for the start of our second half. Once again, this is Manny Pacquiao Jr. MPBL.
Si Assistant Coach Kim Cinco ng team Quezon City 8-8 Junior Giants. Good morning, Coach. It's nice to have you here. Coach, your team is down by as much as 16 points on this game. Paano po natin magiging iba yung storya as we enter the final 20 minutes of the game?
Okay, so siguro mag-start kami sa defense dahil ang sama ng scramble defense namin. Siguro maghigpit kami sa depensa lalong-lalo na dun sa pag-contain doon sa help side din namin. So, yun yung kailangan namin i-improve at trabahuin ngayon sa second half.
Coach Kim, meron po ba kayong gustong bigyan ng shoutout ngayon or mga taong papasalamatan niyo po?
Opo, pinapasalamatan namin of course si Vice Mayor Gian Soto, Congressman Arjo Taide, at syempre yung 828 Basketball. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Coach Kim, and good luck po sa team ninyo. More of this intense basketball action when we return.
Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL.
Would like to thank Dorite Bola ng Pinoy, the first Pinoy basketball brand, Don Benitos, ang pambansang cassava, Nature Spring, #1 bottled water in the Philippines, Pound for Pound Fitness, B. Ligaretti, Jinky Skin, empowering women by redefining beauty, Pound Active, for quality sportswear.
Red Dynasty, offering comfort Chinese food and overall 5-star experience. Winford Resort and Casino Manila, a luxury integrated resort.
Wing Bowl, it's like coming home. Chris Jacob Collection, for affordable but quality daily perfumes.
And at the half, it's 46-30, 16-point gap. And once again, the JT Bulacan Taipan on top of this competition so far. Able to knock down 10 3-pointers in this first half alone. Again, what an amazing feat by this squad.
Well, so far, even in that first quarter, they were really just bombing away from the outside. Already attempted, I believe, 17 times in that first quarter, and have managed to just been able to shoot at a very good clip from the outside. As you can see, 10 out of 24 against 1 out of 10 for Quezon City. Pretty much, you know, that plus 27 advantage from the three-point areas helped them build this 16-point lead. They managed to out-rebound Quezon City 24-20, and turnovers kept at the minimum for both teams. 9 turnovers for Quezon City, 8 for JT Bulacan Taipan, but JT Bulacan Taipan has managed to convert that into 15 points off turnovers against just 5 for Quezon City.
And it's not like Bulacan is shooting poorly from the two-point area. They're at 8 out of 15, 53% from two-point range. So not only are they beating Quezon City at the three-point line, but also inside the paint or inside the perimeter in general.
But the only thing going for Quezon City, the ability to get to the line. 18 times they've attempted from the free throw line, but only made half of that. So that could be something that they need to work on. Bulacan has yet to attempt a free throw in this game, and it's quite a surprise that they are up big here against Quezon City.
Well, still an eternity of basketball to be played. Too early to tell who will win this ball game. And I'm sure Quezon City still has some fight left in them. As again, this is their last game of the season. Looking to lock in their 5th spot. Ito namang Bulacan, 7-1. Currently still 2 more games, including this one. So just 1 more after this. And they're currently at the top of their division standings. North Division to be exact. So the stakes are indeed high, at least for Quezon City. As right now, first possession of our second half belonging to JT Bulacan Taipan. Canlapan sends it out to Victoria. Charles Victoria against Muyuela. He attacks the lane, sends it out. Kalachan from deep. He won't hit. And that's a whistle from our referees. Seems to be a foul called on Mark Christian Cuevas.
And what's most impressive for Bulacan, even with a 16-point lead, their usual top scorer, Russell Del Pozo, only with 2 points in the game.
He doesn't even need to score, as his teammates have been pretty much carrying the slack, his own slack. But right now, Kalachan and Bulacan has possession. This time, it's Canlapan. He will fire from deep, and that won't hit. And here comes Quezon City, looking to convert in this fast break. Atienza looks to attack. Atienza losing the leather. Good defense from Charles Victoria. He attacks, unable to hit. Canlapan drops it, and that shot is erased by Mark Christian Cuevas.
But you like how Bulacan aggressively attacking the offensive boards, even the smaller Lavalle getting a rebound off Cuevas.
Meanwhile, no good on that mid-range jumper. That's gonna be a foul called on Aza Atienza. Second team foul already of this Quezon City squad.
Even if Lavalle is the smaller guy, has been really getting into good position inside as he was erased on that play by Cuevas.
Meanwhile, Canlapan has it. Now it's up top to Victoria. They pass it around. Kalachan from deep. It still won't hit for Bulacan. Atienza breaks down the basketball. As Atienza, now it's with Romero. Atienza asking for the basketball. It's now with Cuevas against Canlapan. Cuevas nowhere to go. Now it's Rojas firing from deep, and that won't hit. But it's still with them. That'll be a shot clock violation called on Quezon City.
Actually, one of the biggest problems for Quezon City there, not able to hit from the outside, so the shorter team, Bulacan, able to just sit in that zone and force them to try and take those shots from the outside.
Meanwhile, Russell Del Pozo back in the ball game. Almost a steal by Muyuela. But Russell Santos good on that one-hander.
Mark Russell Santos continuing to score here for Bulacan. Ready with 11 points in the game.
Muyuela handling the leather. Will fire a three of his own. In and out of that shot. Del Pozo fighting for the rebound against Cuevas, and he gets it. Del Pozo fast pass to the other Russell Santos. But that won't hit. Here comes Muyuela. Now it's Atienza. Romero this time from deep. Still won't hit for Quezon City. But Atienza gets it back. It's back to Romero. Another three-point bomb. And still won't go in on the side of QC.
Those are two good looks for Rafa Romero, just unable to knock it down. Victoria will be called for the loose ball foul.
Another chance on the side of Quezon City as Aza Atienza brings it out, sends it to Cuevas. They hand it off to Muyuela. He fires a three and still not going in on the side of the Junior Giants. But they get it back nonetheless as Cuevas just taking it inside, and we'll get a foul. Two freebies coming up for Mark Christian Cuevas.
Well, so far this has been the one thing that has been working for Quezon City, getting to the free throw line. They've been getting a ton of attempts, just not making a good percentage. Usually 50% is a good percentage from anywhere on the floor except from the free throw line.
Indeed, a challenge on the side of QC. You know, they're beaten almost in every statistical category by Bulacan. First one is good for Mark Cuevas. Again, it's Coach Mike Calomot leading the way on the side of Quezon City. On the other side naman, Coach JP Magbitang for Bulacan. Second freebie on its way for Mark Christian Cuevas. So far has 11 points to his name. Under 6 minutes remaining in the third. And that one is no good for Cuevas. 48-31. Gonzalez at the corner against Cuevas. Gonzalez, nowhere to go. Trying to find his teammates, finds Victoria against Romero. Victoria sends it out. Del Pozo from deep. Won't hit for Russell. Here comes Rance Muyuela inside to Cuevas. Cuevas has it. Fades away with one hand and won't fall. And Gonzalez gets a hold of the leather. Sends it to Santos. Russell Santos against Rance Muyuela. The pick from Victoria. Santos almost losing it, but that's going to be a jump ball call.
Well, that's something that you'd like to see from Russell Santos. Make better reads on the floor. He had Victoria wide open, spotting up on that right wing.
And now let's turn it over to Miss Daphne Cristobal for a report.
Despite the huge gap created by the Team Bulacan coach JP urges team to double their intensity because that's what usually happens. A complete shift of rhythm in the second half. What they will show today will reflect to their playoffs performance. Meanwhile naman, para dito sa Quezon City, for Coach Franco Atienza, few words to boost their morale. Play like they know each other for quite some time already. Choy, Coach Noy.
Thank you very much, Daphne, for giving us some insights on both the team situation. Tama nga naman for Bulacan. You know, how you play this game will probably reflect on how you will play in the playoffs since we're in the tail end of our season. And for Quezon City naman, hindi naman natin madedenay, Coach Noy, saglit pa lang sila mag-aasama, but you know, you really can't make that as an excuse.
But a little bit of a struggle offensively for Quezon City, although they've managed to cut down the lead to just 12 points. But for Bulacan, even with a huge lead, can't afford to develop the bad habits that we were talking about earlier. But definitely not a bad habit to keep on splashing it from 3.
And I believe that's the first three-pointer of Bulacan in the second half. A total of 11 already for this ball game, as Quezon City just couldn't find a break. Meanwhile, Romero will fire from deep. That won't hit as Pangan grabs it for Bulacan. Russell Santos receiving it. Russell Santos sends it inside. De La Vega will fumble that shot.
Nevertheless, a good pass there from Santos.
Runs Muyuela, asking for a pick. Double team, sends it to Cuevas. Long 2 for him. It won't sink. Del Pozo with a rebound. Here comes Russell. To the other Russell, this time it's Santos. Not that time, picked up by De La Vega. As he slips to the floor, Del Pozo quick fire. And still with the Bulacan after a couple of crazy sequences. Del Pozo asks for a pick. Will fire from near half court. And still won't go in for him. And the other Russell still won't go for Bulacan. But they still have it.
Long shots mean long rebounds, and that goes to the advantage of the quicker. Even though they're smaller, itong Bulacan, they've been getting those offensive rebounds.
Let's take another look on this three-point shot coming from Pangan. Answering back Rance Muyuela's three-pointer earlier. As Muyuela will earn, actually Romero and Muyuela earning a trip to the bench. And Del Pozo still in this ball game. Same with Russell Santos. So it's now 51-36.
And they just called a technical foul on Madela of Quezon City for the uniform protocol.
So to make matters worse, as that technical freebie is good for Russell Del Pozo.
So if you were to tell me that Russell Del Pozo only 3 points in the game, has yet to hit a 3, 0 out of 6, and the Bulacan up by 16, I wouldn't have believed you.
No one would have believed me if I said that. Meanwhile, the other Russell will try to light it up, and that won't go. Meanwhile, Del Pozo attacks the spin. Tough moves coming from Russell Del Pozo. Seems to be enjoying himself in this ballgame.
I usually don't see someone, only with 3 points in the game enjoying himself, but definitely he's enjoying. He's trying to set up his teammates.
Meanwhile, Bulacan still has it. Del Pozo, another long-range shot, in and out. Meanwhile, Atienza grabs the board for Quezon City. Here comes Cordaño. Foul on the floor called on Del Pozo. As we're approaching the last 1 minute of our third period, and it's still a big lead being handled by Bulacan. Cordaño has it. He's up against Laksamana. Cordaño attacks. Cordaño will escape for 2.
That's definitely the strength of the game of Eric Cordaño, able to get to the rim whenever he wants to.
Meanwhile, they swing it around. Bulacan having possession. Del Pozo will fire another 3. In and out once again for him.
0 out of 8 from 3 for Russell Del Pozo.
Meanwhile, Cordaño forcing his way inside, but that's going to be 2 freebies coming up for Eric Cordano.
That's pretty much the game of Eric Cordano. On the defensive end, he is a menace using his boundless energy on defense, but on the offensive end, he's more of a slasher type of player. Uses his speed and the ability to finish with the upper body strength.
Just now to a 13-point lead, make that down to a 12-point lead, more than manageable, as we still have 1 whole quarter left after this one. So there's 20 seconds remaining. Russell Santos navigating the court. Picked by Laksamana. Russell Santos hesitated and still has it. Del Pozo will fire from the corner. Still won't hit for him. Atienza, too strong of a pass. Last roughly 2 seconds remaining. And smart approach by Bulacan to let it roll the floor. Almost a half-court shot coming from Russell Santos, but that is it for our first 3 quarters. It's 52-40. 12-point gap. JT Bulacan Taipan still on top of this one as you return for the start of our 4th and final chapter. Once again, this is Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL.
Official ball of Junior MPBL. Don Benitos.
52-40, 12-point gap in favor of JT Bulacan Taipan as we approach our 4th and final chapter of this ball game. First possession of the 4th quarter belonging to JT Bulacan Taipan. Right now, it's Tanlapan. Nowhere to go. Now it's Lacson attacking the lane. Drops it to Pulong Barit. Simon unable to hit it. Another try perhaps. We'll send it outside. And Canlapan almost losing it. It's Kalachan from deep. 12 3-pointers already for JT Bulacan Taipan.
Well, a bit of a struggle from the 3-point area for them in that 3rd quarter, but Kalachan continuing to shoot well for them, hitting a 3-pointer.
Meanwhile, it's Go for Quezon City attacking. Lace it up and in.
A good read there by Go, going all the way to the rim for 2 points.
Bulacan having possession once again, and that is no good coming from Canlapan. Meanwhile, De La Cruz sends it out to Cordano. He attacks Cordano, unable to escape for 2, and Madela will put it back in.
That time a good idea by Madela to crash the offensive glass as Cordano with a miss and the putback for Madela.
55-44, an 11-point lead for Bulacan. So far, they'll have possession. 16 seconds to shoot for them. Bulacan, it's Kalachan receiving. Is that the right wing? Now, it's Canlapan firing from deep. 13 3-pointers already for JT Bulacan Taipan.
I like how this second, third stringers here for Bulacan continuing to shoot well for them.
To make matters worse, that's going to be a turnover for Quezon City. And slowly but surely, Bulacan sealing the deal, sealing the win in this one as that previous three-pointer completed by Kalachan. Meanwhile, Canlapan called for a traveling violation.
Can't afford to pass up those open looks. That's hesitation there, forcing the turnover. Opportunity to come closer for Quezon City.
De La Cruz brings it down, the pick from Nas. And here comes Cordaño. He attacks off the glass, that's good.
Cordaño hasn't shown that he can shoot from the outside. Force him to take the outside shot.
Meanwhile, Cordaño, good defense, able to nab a steal, but will unable to complete the fast break opportunity. Nonetheless, that's going to be a foul called on Bulacan.
Like how Cordaño able to get the rebound despite three defenders. You see that finish for Cordaño earlier.
So God, the one to bring it out. Trying to find his teammates, finds De La Cruz up top. Now it's Cordaño putting on the moves. Cordaño, the spin. What a move coming from Eric Cordaño.
What a way to use the footwork to get himself wide open. Eric Cordaño, the spark here for Quezon City, cuts the lead down to just 10 points.
Spark indeed, the perfect time to come alive for Cordaño. And Cordaño able to swipe that ball outside, but possession staying with JT Bulacan Taipan. And I guess that leaves Coach JP Magbitang no choice but to insert Russell Del Pozo, Russell Santos, and Charles Victoria. 30 seconds to shoot for JT Bulacan Taipan. Santos sends it to Pulong Barit. Could have been a great play, but nonetheless, two freebies coming up for Simon.
Well, he did try to run the same play in the first half. This time able to get two free throws for Simon Pulong Barit.
First freebie on its way for Simon Pulong Barit. So far only has 4 points, but has 7 boards to his name. As first one is good for Simon.
We don't really need Pulong Barit to do a lot of scoring, especially with the Russells and Victoria on the floor for them. But those rebounds really a major contributor for this team.
And the lead is back to 12 for Bulacan. And that is almost a turnover, but looks like Quezon City will retain possession. Cordaño, sideline inbound, finds Badela. He will hand it off back to Cordaño. He's up against Victoria. Cordaño, the pick from Scott. Cordaño attacks. Cordaño, tough shot. That won't go in for him. Rebound by Pulong Barit. Russell Santos directing the offense of Bulacan. Russell Santos continues to direct the offense. Will find Pangan. Back to Santos. Steps back for three. Unable to hit it. Offensive board by Pulong Barit. Inside. That's going to be a foul called on QC. Their third team foul of this quarter.
So despite Pulong Barit only with 6 points in the game, he has been really a major factor here for this lineup of JT Bulacan Taipan, especially with those offensive rebounds. Ready with 8 rebounds in the game.
Two freebies coming up again for Simon Pulong Barit. Big time contributor on the side of Bulacan JT Taipan. And that first freebie is good. And talking about this guy, averaging close to 6 points per game and 4 boards. And 19 minutes of action as he goes 1 out of 2 on that trip. Meanwhile, Quezon City having possession. Gaitos back in the ball game. Gaitos sends it in the middle. Quezon City, what will they do? Scott provides the pick for Yao. And Scott has it. He attacks. Scott will lay it up and in.
Able to find a seam on the defense of Bulacan. Scott just waltzing inside for two.
Santos against Yao. The pick from Charles Victoria. He uses it. Santos. Now it's up against Gaitos. Russell Santos. Inside, the spin. Sends it outside. Russell Del Pozo from deep. First three-pointer of the game.
He may go 0 out of 9 from the three-point area, but you're going to be sure that he's going to take the next open one.
Let's take another look on that kick out. The Russell connection working once again for JT Bulacan Taipan, and more importantly, extending the lead to 14 with over 5 minutes remaining in our fourth period. The Nature Spring timeout is called. (64-50), 14-point gap still. JT Bulacan Taipan on top of this one. But there's still more than 5 minutes remaining for Quezon City to do something about it. Yao against Russell Santos. The pick from Scott. Yao almost losing it. Nowhere to go. Finds Madela. Now it's Gaitos firing from deep. He won't hit, but Yao gets it back for them. Yao, another send out. It's Minas. Now Gaitos. Sidestep. Sends it outside to Scott for a long two. And he won't hit. But Madela grabs it back and still won't fall for QC.
That Bulacan defense continuing to stifle the offense of Quezon City, not allowing them any kind of rhythm.
Meanwhile, Del Pozo fade away three-pointer. That won't hit for him.
Well, despite the difficulty in that shot, but by Russell Del Pozo, that's still a shot that you wouldn't want him to be taking, leaving him open.
Meanwhile, Minas. Now it's Scott up top against Pulong Barit. Madela. Now Gaitos at the corner. And they still won't fall for QC. Time is slowly running for Quezon City to do something about this big lead of Bulacan. As Gaitos pressuring Del Pozo. Now it's Russell Santos attacking the lane. Drops it to Pulong Barit. Almost a perfectly executed play for Bulacan, but two freebies coming up for Simon.
Well, that's the kind of reads you want to see from Russell Santos. That time able to find Pulong Barit wide open, but unfortunately did not make the basket. So that's an assist that could have been for Mark Russell Santos.
And Simon on a double-double watch. 7 points and 9 rebounds for him. However, he will miss that first freebie. Still a 14-point lead by JT Bulacan Taipan. A second freebie is good for him, 1 out of 2. Making that 8 points and 9 boards for Simon. And slowly but surely, Bulacan sealing the deal. Muyuela back in the ball game, perhaps for a last attempt to get back in this ball game. Meanwhile, good ball movement on the side of QC. Cuevas against De La Vega. Cuevas drops it off to Madela, out to Atienza. Muyuela will fire from deep. And that will roll out of the rim.
He's continuing to struggle from the outside. This Muyuela only with 4 points in the game.
Meanwhile, they send it outside. Laksamana. This time, it's Anobling back in the ball game as it fades away, but that won't hit for him. And this time, it's Cordaño not wasting any time. On the other side, no good on that reverse attempt from Madela.
Didn't really see the need to go reverse that time for Madela. He had the lane wide open on his dominant side on his right hand.
And a quick look on the three-point percentage of Bulacan. They're 14 out of 45, good for 31%. So they're almost near their number of three-pointers made in their last game with 18.
Even the attempts already pretty much in that vicinity. They really are a volume shooting team from the outside. And they're continuing to hit at a decent clip. I mean, 31% is a decent clip, especially if you're making 14 from the outside.
And definitely they will have a target on their backs come the playoffs. And again, you know, Quezon City is their last game. They're currently at the 5th spot. But with the things, or rather with what the things are right now, Bulacan will most likely escape with a W. And again, they are 7-1. So assuming that they'll win, there will be 8-1 and then one more game down the road for them. As they're still leading by 15. In a Nature Spring timeout called by Coach JP Magbitang. As again, they're on top of this one so far, and hopefully they'll nab the W. But for now, Nature Spring timeout called. (65-50), 15-point lead for Quezon City. 5 seconds to shoot on the side of Bulacan. Del Pozo fading away from 3. That won't hit. But nonetheless, they do have a 15-point lead. He has the luxury of taking those shots.
Yeah, so far, Del Pozo 1 out of 11, but his team still ahead by 15, and he has done all the other things with 6 rebounds and 4 assists to go with 7 points.
If you're familiar with Russell Del Pozo's game, you know, he can perform when it's needed. But as of right now, his teammates has been doing wonders for his squad. Meanwhile, Cordaño will hit a 3, but they will need more of those if they want to go back in this ball game.
They need to make the stops on one end and string a lot of threes here to get back into the ball game.
Just like Del Pozo, oh, ankle breaker, but that shot is foiled by him. Meanwhile, Lacson has it. Bulacan still with possession, but that's going to be a foul on the floor. Let's take a look. Oh, an offensive foul actually.
Illegal screen for Laksamana, but credit half that turnover to Lacson, attacking without Laksamana still able to set that screen.
Nature Spring timeout called right here by Coach Mike Calomot as there's just under 2 minutes remaining in our ball game. Back to the action right here, 65 to 53. 12-point gap in favor of Bulacan JT Taipan. Over 1 minute remaining in our fourth period. Quezon City a chance once again to score more points, but again they will have to do something different and perhaps something more than what they're doing right now. Atienza will fire for three, and he won't hit it. As they're fighting for the basketball. And good hustle coming for Cordaño. Ends up with Cuevas. Now it's Muyuela, sends it inside. That was intended for Mandela. It'll go out of bounds. Possession staying with QC. That's going to be another timeout called by Coach Mike Calomot as he looks to recalibrate his strategies. Once again, 12-point gap in favor of Bulacan. Over a minute remaining in our ball game. Back to the action right here as we're seeing Andorra Bola ng Pinoy, the official ball of our junior MPBL. And of course, big shout out as well to Don Benito ng Pambansang Cassava. Nature Spring, the #1 bottled water in the Philippines. Pound for pound fitness, be Liga ready. Jinky Skin, Pound Active for quality sportswear. Winford Resort and Casino Manila. Red Dynasty Seafood and Hot Pot Restaurant. Thank you very much to everybody who supports our junior MPBL. Let's take a look at the final minutes, or final minute of our ball game rather. Still a 12-point lead by Bulacan. And I guess it's safe to say Bulacan will escape with a W, will climb up to 8-1, still first in this North Division standings. Ito namang Quezon City, so they will fall to the standings right here, 5-5. That'll definitely, not be a good way to end the season, but there's still a couple of games for the different teams in our North Division, so they better hope, or actually they'll hope that the other teams will lose it, so perhaps they can climb up the standings. But nonetheless, as of right now, they are 5-5.
Well, again, the playoffs is a completely different animal, and if you're Quezon City, even if they will round out their win-loss record 5-5 here in the eliminations, you come into that playoff situation and come prepared. You may be able to pull off some upsets, and just a lot of work to be done here for Quezon City. While JT Bulacan Taipan still with one more game to go and trying to lock up that top spot and the twice-to-beat advantage in the playoffs.
And I do agree with you, Coach. It is indeed a different atmosphere for the playoffs. But as of today, JT Bulacan Taipan will get the last laugh as they're able to nab this 65-56 9-point win. So congratulations to Coach JP Magbitang and his Bulacan boys. As again, they'll maintain that #1 spot in the North Division. And not to mention, they still have one more game ahead of them. So the sky is the limit for these boys all the way from the province of Bulacan. Once again, I will find a score 65-56. And again, just like last game, it's not the usual Russell that did all the damage. And there's only 2 Russells, so I'm sure you already know who this guy is. We're just waiting for his presence. As once again, we're live here in the Alonte Sports Arena. Still a couple of games after this one. Better stay tuned. And right now, to introduce to us our Don Benito's best player of the game, we have Miss Daphne Cristobal.
11 points, 3 rebounds with 5 assists for our player of the game, none other than Mark Russell Santos. Congratulations to you and your team. Russell, sa team ninyo, meron na kayong 8 wins on your hands with only 1 loss. How do you guys allow na itong wins na to, hindi ito mapunta sa utak nyo, but rather mas magdoble pa kayo?
Palagi lang po kami sinasabihan ni Coach na dapat habang mas tumatagal yung liga, mas nagiging gigil kami lagi sa tuwing may game kami. Kung bakit kami yung nasa number 1 spot. Yun.
Russell, meron ka bang gustong pasalamatan or batiin ngayon?
Unang-una po, nagpapasalamat po ako kay Lord dahil binigay niya sa amin yung panalo na to. And shoutout po sa mga teammates ko and sa coaching staff po namin, Coach JP, Coach Andy, Coach Giro, and sa school po namin dati sa Baliwag, Living Angels Christian Academy. And shoutout po sa family ko and sa girlfriend ko, kay Marie Carlton, and sa family po niya. And shoutout po sa mga teammates ko sa San Sebastian and kay Coach Martin po.
Once again, congratulations Russell and to the rest of Team Bulacan, JT Taipan. At syempre magpasalamat din tayo sa Don Benitos for providing our player of the game this Filipino delicacy. Don Benitos, ang pambansang kasaba. Back to you, Cho and Coach Noy.
Thank you very much, Daphne, for introducing to us our Don Benito's best player of the game. No other than Russell, not Del Pozo, but Russell Santos. Once again, congratulations to JT Bulacan, Taipan. Up next, it's Biñan Tatak Gel going up against Rosario Batangas ICC Blue Hawks in our junior MPBL D-League. So better stay tuned to that game. And once again, this is Cho Pangilinan, Coach Noy Africa, and this is the one and only Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL.
Liga ng bayan na to, mga kabataan na sugod, Junior MPBL para sa'yo, ang liga ng bawat batang Pilipino, liga ng bayan na to, klaro na to, huwag kang sumuko sa gustong gawin. Isang pangarap, isang tagumpay, yeah. Gabay at pag-asa ng bayan, landas pagbabago, pag-asa, ikaw ang mahalaga. Iba't iba, pero
Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL.
Would like to thank Dorite Bola ng Pinoy, the first Pinoy basketball brand, Don Benitos, ang pambansang kasava, Nature Spring, #1 bottled water in the Philippines, pound for pound fitness, be Liga Ready, Jinky Skin, empowering women by redefining beauty, Pound Active, for quality sportswear.
Red Dynasty, offering comfort Chinese food and overall 5-star experience. Winford Resort and Casino Manila, a luxury integrated resort.
Wing Bowl, it's like coming home. Chris Jacob Collection, for affordable but quality daily perfumes,